And now the next case.
All parties in the matter, Fisher versus Rula. Step forward, please.
Lilia Fisher is suing her ex-boyfriend, George Rula, for 1 month's mortgage payment and punitive damages for ruining her credit.
Let me see if I can make this simplistic. You and Mr. Rulak had been together for 20 years.
Yes.
You have 3 children together.
Yes.
Never married.
Never married.
You purchased a home together.
Yes.
For whatever...
2 hours later.
You purchased a home together.
Yes.
For whatever reason, and I'm quite frankly not interested in the reason that you decided to separate, you left the house. And you took the children with you?
Yes.
How old are the children?
13, 17, and 19.
According to you, you had an agreement with Mr. Rulak that you would make the last mortgage payment, which was when, in April of '07?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you would not make any more mortgage payments, but Mr. Rulak would make the mortgage payments on the house, and you were going to find another place to live with your children.
Yes.
You gave him that last mortgage payment, and you subsequently found out that he did not make the mortgage payments, despite the fact that you say you had an agreement with him that instead of paying child support, he would keep up the payments on the house so that you wouldn't lose the house and you would have something for the children.
Right.
You found out that he did not make payments on the house, that he allowed the house to go into foreclosure, which ruined your credit, which you subsequently found out when you went to take out some sort of a loan.
Correct.
Mr. Rulak has a counterclaim. While he acknowledges you made the mortgage payment for April of '07, he says you didn't make any other mortgage payments. Therefore, the house went into foreclosure, sold, and he's counterclaiming for half the mortgage payments when you weren't there before it went into foreclosure. Is that what you're counterclaiming for?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you kidding me? I mean, are you serious? You didn't make the mortgage payments, the house went into foreclosure, and you want her to pay for half the mortgage payments that you didn't make?
Well, ma'am, she was back and forth.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't make the mortgage payments. What are you going to do with the money if I award you, Mr. Rulak, half the mortgage payments for the 4 months before it was foreclosed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you going to do with that money?
Well, I had saved the money up.
What?
My part of the money I had saved up. I was not receiving her part of the money.
Did you pay the mortgage after she left?
I attempted to pay the mortgage.
That's attempting doesn't do it for me, sir. Did you pay the mortgage payments after she left?
No, ma'am.
The answer is no. She left in April of '07. How much child support did you give her in May of '07? Just stand up, sir.
Yes.
How much child support did you give her in May of '07?
I was giving Lilia approximately maybe $200 a month, ma'am.
How much was he giving you?
He wasn't paying child support then.
Of course not. Now, why weren't you paying child support, sir?
Because I've always taken care of my children.
Their children weren't with you. They were with their mother.
Well, ma'am, I still provided a home, kept the lights on, kept the water on, kept the house cleaned up. I did everything as if...
They weren't living with you.
Ma'am, my children came back and forth. They only here recently got to the point where they felt like it wasn't a home. So they said, well, they didn't want to come back out. So they took their beds out and that. But Lilia still had access to the home. Her mail still comes there. She come back and forth all the time. I never barred her from the home.
Who cares whether you barred her from the home or not? She had enough of you. She was finished with you for whatever reason. Whose idea was it to live together? Whose idea was it? Yours, right?
Well, I believe...
She says it was yours.
Well, ma'am, we were...
When was the last time you asked her to marry you?
Well...
When your 19-year-old was 18? When your 17-year-old was 16? When did you ask her to marry you?
Now, I think that me and Lily, we started out very young. I think you make a lot of errors and mistakes in relationships, okay?
You know,
she made mistakes, I made mistakes,
You may be able to get over with that gobbledygook garbage with her and with other people, sir. You don't get over it with me. I asked a simple question. Whose idea was it not to get married? And the person whose idea it was not to get married should raise their hand. So, I don't care whether you provided a roof over their head. Your children weren't living with you. They went with their mother. She had had enough of you. Maybe she wanted another relationship where maybe she could get married. Maybe she wants somebody to say to her, I love you very much, and I want to marry you, and I want to make a life for you, and I want to commit myself to you. Put your hand down. Now you raised your hand. You raised your hand at the wrong minute. Hey, sir, you get nothing on your counterclaim. You allowed that house to go into foreclosure, and you weren't paying child support. I know you weren't paying child support, and you know you weren't paying child support. And she left with the children. Now, if she left with the children and you went into court and said, I want custody of my children, let her go get a job and pay you. You had the house, let her pay you, but that's not what the two of you decided to do. So don't give me a lot of garbage. Now, I want to see proof that you paid April's mortgage payment, April '07. Show me. Because she gave you money for April of '07.
All I have is here that what the
I want to see proof that you made April's mortgage payment. You have proof that you did not?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. This right here is the receipt showing that I put the money into his account.
He doesn't deny.
This
He doesn't
right here
deny that
is
you made
showing
April's mortgage
the company
payment.
is suing us from April 1st, 2007, plus late charges.
Gotcha. Perfect. That's it. April 1st, 2007 is the time that you stopped making the mortgage payments, Mr. Rulak. So what did you do with her money that she gave you?
I put it toward the mortgage payment, ma'am. It says from May 1st.
No, it doesn't. It says April 1st. April 1st.
Okay, my paperwork says May 1st, ma'am.
Let me see it. No. It says April 1st, '07. It says that according to the terms of the mortgage, there is now due plaintiff the sum of $146,000 plus interest on the principal rate per annum from April 1st, 2007, plus outstanding late charges. She has a complaint for foreclosure. Your decision reads that April 1st, 2007 is the day that interest is starting. Now, it was very easy for you, sir. All you had to do was bring me a check and show me that you made April's mortgage payment. Why didn't you?
Oh, well, I've been going through a lot, ma'am.
Me too. Me too. How much did you send him for April's mortgage payment?
$640.
That's what he owes you.
And for my
Does
credit.
he pay your child? I don't, but you can't. Listen, you should have kept closer tabs on it. Should have kept closer
He was
tabs on it.
supposed to have filed a quick. We came together. He wanted me to take my name off of the house. He pressured me to take my name off the house. I agreed. In May, we did a quick claim deed. My name was supposed to come off that house. I was trying to buy a new property.
Why did you leave him?
Because he was cheating on me with her, with another woman before that.
So he's unreliable.
Right.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is you left because he's an unreliable mate.
Right, but
What
one
makes
thing
you
we
think-
were doing was making that mortgage payment.
Yeah, well,
and
he
if
stopped.
he didn't want to leave.
He stopped. He stopped. Does he pay child support now?
No, he doesn't. I filed, though.
When did you file?
I filed the same day I filed this claim, on January 19th.
Why did you wait so long for?
I found out he wasn't paying. I didn't have to...
Support.
With child support, we were together. We were in the same household. With the little bit that he was doing, you know, it was half. It was 50-50. I mean, as far as the kids, I
No,
did
I'm
things.
talking about you left in April of '07.
So that he could make the mortgage payment. It was $1,240
Just a
a month.
second. You left in April of '07.
Yes.
According to you, are you telling me that you were living in the house after April of '07?
No.
You said he hasn't paid you any child support. Why did you wait almost a year to file?
I found out in November that he wasn't paying the mortgage.
I'm not talking about the mortgage, madam. I'm talking about child support.
He couldn't afford to pay child support in the mortgage.
Oh, now I
We
got it.
we were in the debt 50-50.
Now I got it. So you really gave him credit, and you had no idea that he wasn't making the mortgage
That's right.
payment. I see.
That's right.
I got you now. How much is his half of the mortgage?
His half of the mortgage was $640.
640.
Yes.
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, times 11 equals. Oh, you owe her a lot of money, sir. You owe her a lot of money. Because I believe her when she said that she did not pursue child support from you because you agreed that you would make the mortgage payment on the house in lieu of sending her any money for the children.
That's right.
And you didn't send her any money for the children. She assumed you were making the mortgage payment. It wasn't until months later that she found out that you weren't making the mortgage payment and the house was foreclosed, so she hadn't filed for child support. You didn't fulfill your end of the bargain by paying the mortgage. You owe her $5,000. That's my maximum, madam. You get it, sir?
Hey, excuse me, ma'am.
Put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
You're sleazy, Mr. Rulak.
And
you
putting it
can't
light.
control her anymore. I hope you find somebody else that you can control. You can't control her. She's finished with you. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think she's making such an issue because the man that she had didn't turn out who she thought he was.
Oh, that's not true. He was the man who didn't fulfill what I needed to.
She thought she was to leave me and go get married somewhere, and it didn't happen.
I have a man. I found out what a man is. I have a man, a very good man.
Oh, I always take care of my children. I've done it for the last 20 years.
He's a good lip service daddy. Always will be.
She knows that.
I hope that he changes, and I hope that he becomes more of a doer.
But to leave over a man, I wouldn't have left my family over a man or anybody in the street.
And if he could live and